Podcast may have affiliated or sponsored segments. Any affiliated links or sponsored segments will be disclosed to comply with FTC guidelines and to be transparent with our listeners. Welcome to the Craft Cove, a place where we discuss current crafts, future projects, and learn more about various crafting forms we enjoy the most. I'm your host, SleepingLunaDesigns, but you can call me Liz. It's great to have you here, friend. Let's catch up on some crafty goodness. So, holy crap, 2021 is coming up around the corner, and before we talk about some potential stitch-alongs that you may be interested in joining, because let's be honest, we all love a good stitch-along or two. We all love a good SAL. Before we talk about that, let's talk about the last of our works in progress items and even some of our finishes that are occurring here in 2020. I'm so excited to share a few things with you guys. So in December, I finished 3 projects. 3 projects in December so far. I'm thrilled. I'm geeked. I cannot believe how excited I am. And that's not actually including like the giveaway stuff that I did for the December giveaway or the November giveaway on Twitch. Now, the 3 projects I've been finishing up. The first one, I'm not recommending the original pattern designer because they stole art from another designer in the community. They actually stole art from Night Spirit Studio, so it's a crime. So with this piece, it just said, till your mysterious death do us part. It was this great humorous piece that I gifted to my other half, my fiance, Frozen, and I excluded all of the stolen art from it so I could feel better about it internally. It made me feel better to complete it without the stolen art. But anyway, we have the same sense of humor. So it was my post-engagement gift to him. We both loved it. We both laughed. It was great. That was the first finish of the month. Then the next finish, I finally finished the tropical pineapples piece with modifications. Let's go into that. So the tropical pineapples piece is a pattern that's available in my store, and it's almost like a mandala sort of a pattern. It's repeating on all 4 sides. There's a border on the outside of it. Now, in this instance, I was so over stitching at this point. I was at the edge of burnout, so I didn't stitch the border. I wish I would have, which I will know for next time. But I was so over it that I just didn't do the border. But then I turned it into a bisque new. So you see how I made things infinitely more complicated on myself by, excluding the simple part. And instead of framing it in just a simple frame, I'm like, let's make it into a 3-dimensional object. That's how we want to play this today. But it was my first ever bisque new finish. And it came out adorable. It was kind of perfect and amazing, and I am so excited about it. I hope my mom loves it as a Christmas present. Hope Mama Luna loves it. Mama Luna, if you're listening, you don't know what a bisque new is. So don't Google it. And I'm not telling you how to spell it. The next finish, or the third finish rather, is the unicorn bisque new. Oh my gosh, I am geeked about the unicorn bisque new. Now, the unicorn bisque new. This was the first time I had purchased a bisque new pattern. This is by a designer called Just Plain Jen, and plain being spelled like an airplane, Plane. Before this, I was not really knowledgeable as to either what a bisque new was, why you would even bother using one, etc., etc. But on Twitch, a lovely, incredible creator named Serenadia, also on Etsy, she's known as Moonlight Meadows Art. She put out a community challenge or a community stitch along that it wasn't a single pattern, it was a type of object. So the fall seasonal stitch along was to create a bisque new. Buy a pattern, make a bisque new. perfect. So I bought this unicorn one because it wasn't intimidating. It didn't look scary. I made a couple of color swaps because I was not going to use effect floss in the way that they wanted me to use effect floss. I do not hate myself that much. I might have a death wish, but I don't hate myself that much to use effect floss in that degree. But this unicorn biscornu did not seem very intimidating, and it was my first time stitching on linen, and it came out great. I picked this hand-painted linen, and it was pastel pink with a little bit of green. Turned out beautiful, and it worked perfectly with these colors. I made a couple of other color changes too. Now, the horn of the unicorn was supposed to be done in gold effect floss. This is where I actually did use a tiny bit of effect floss. I used silver effect floss instead. The face of the unicorn is supposed to be outlined in black. I felt like that was too bold with the rest of the color palette, and I decided to keep it like a muted gray tone, so it was also kind of muted like the rest of everything else was. Where I changed out the effect floss on the bottom of a biscornu, because if you're not aware of a biscornu, it's actually a pincushion. It's like a 3D object. It's stuffed with polyfill, or sometimes you can use your orts, which are like the excess of the ends of your threads. But it's got a top piece and a bottom piece, and then you stitch them together, and it makes a three-dimensional object. On the bottom piece, in each corner, there are horseshoes. Cute, right? The pattern calls for you to use effect floss on all of these. I don't hate myself to that degree, so I swapped it out for one of the colors that's actually in the palette in general. So it matches, it still matches, but it's not as glitz and glam. So what I did to replace that glitz and glam is I made my life difficult. And on the seams, I actually used beading. And I will link to the Instagram post below, because I normally don't post my finished works and my finished works that aren't mine on Instagram. Oh, but you best believe I did on this one because of the beadwork. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of this. But on the whole entire seam line, I used this beading that I got over at Joann's Fabrics, and it was just by this simple bead pack that I picked up from Hildy and Joe. Um, but it's this pastel beading, and it matches the color palette, dare I say, perfectly. And it just gives this extra level of oomph to it that I don't think I could have imagined otherwise. And then there's a glitter button on the top and bottom. It just all worked out so well. And I can't recommend this particular stitching designer enough. I'm looking at the rest of her designs right now, and oh my God, I want to go buy like 3 more Biscornu patterns because all of her stuff is just so damn cute. This one Biscornu pattern I want to give a major shout out to, because there are so many of hers that are adorable, but this one that's really cute and I want to buy, it's this airmail Biscornu, and it also comes with a scissor fob pattern, because yes, she creates patterns for you to cross stitch your own scissor fob. It's brilliant, and to have something matching, but it's just so cute, and it feels really appropriate for this pandemic where we're mailing everything, and even with the holiday season where cards and mailing presents and packages, this type of Biscornu feels very appropriate without being a holiday pattern. So I highly recommend you check out Just Plain Jen. I'll leave a link below. I'll also tag her on Instagram, so then that way you can go just to the unicorn post and click her profile from there and go check her out. Now in the works in progress pile, I only got one cross stitch left in my work in progress pile for the rest of the year. What? Of the stuff I want to really officially get finished this year, rather. The Lunar Princess SAL is sitting in my work in progress bin, taunting me. It's sitting over here with chapter 9 completed, chapter 10 started, chapter 8 3/4 of the way finished, and going, hey, Liz, you should really work on this. You should really finish your own SAL before you go starting to do 2 more, you know? And I look back at it and I go, Lunar Princess Sal, you ain't wrong, girl. However, I'm a squirrel and I'm gonna go over here. So the Lunar Princess Sal really needs some love and attention. However, I'm waiting on that until right after the Christmas holiday because of the next work in progress in my bin. I know I said there's only one left in my bin for 2020. However, there's one more, and it's actually a 2021 finish, but it has to be finished so early within 2021 that I had to get it started now. My adoptive dad's birthday, so Papa Luna, his birthday is January 13th. So you can see where the conundrum comes up that, oh God, Christmas, and then, oh God, birthday. And I don't know if any of the rest of you have that person that's just freaking impossible to shop for. But that's my dad. He's impossible to shop for. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I refuse to buy Chick-fil-A gift cards, which is like the only other thing I could think of to get him. I refuse to buy Chick-fil-A gift cards. There's really nothing else I could do. So Mama Luna suggested, why don't you make him something? Well, okay, Mom, but that takes a minute. So I guess I need to get started sooner rather than later. I was talking to Mama Luna about this, and she's like, he's not as angry about, the football situation and things like that. He's not as angry about that now that some people are starting to play again. Okay, cool. Well, then I guess what I'll do, I'll do that. Guess I'll do that. Cool. One of his favorite teams is the Arizona Cardinals. They live still in Arizona. I'm from Arizona. So they love the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm actually currently cross stitching the logo, the new logo of the Arizona Cardinals for them. So then dad can hang it up hopefully in his office. It's on 18 count currently using 2 strands of floss and using the loop start method. And, only stitching this for like what, 2 days? We're not doing too bad. The only problem with this piece is just it's so much color fill. This is really just going to be a floss sink and just color fill. It's not full coverage in regards to like corner to corner full coverage, but like the actual design pattern itself, there's no blank space in that pattern. So every ounce of stitchable area, there's no blank spots in between. It's as full coverage as you can imagine without being corner to corner, if that makes any sense. It's going to be an intensive stitch, but I'm glad I got started on it this early. So then that way I can get it finished by maybe the first week of January and get it shipped out to them. And that way he has a very happy birthday. Outside of that, in the works in progress realm, I have mostly the rest of it's crochet stuff. And I haven't really been touching crochet lately, and I need to get back into it. So I'm thinking that the rest of 2020, once I finish the 2 patterns I really need to get working on, which we just talked about, I'm going to go back to crochet for a little bit. And I'm going to work on this blanket that is for a subscriber of mine. And I'm also going to work on a blanket for my friend Bones. I promised him a blanket years ago and never really did it. And I'm about a third of the way done at this point. I'd like to get it finished so he could use it some point during this cold weather. And I'm also doing a loop yarn blanket right now. I don't know if anybody else has seen this in stores, but the Lionheart brand off the hook faux fur loop yarn. Stuff's incredible. It's expensive as hell, but the stuff is incredible. It's faux fur, it's soft, it's fuzzy, it's warm, it's pricey. But I got a bunch of it on sale and I'm making a blanket for my living room. So then that way, if anybody ever comes over, they don't have to ever layer on blankets. They could just use this one and be toasty warm all night long. Or if you're just sitting on the couch and you just want to be super ridiculously warm, you can just use that and it'll be fantastic. So hoping, hoping, hoping to get that finished really soon. I'm like 90% of the way there. Just need to sit down and finish the rest. This episode of The Craft Cove is sponsored by Moonlight Meadows Art. Moonlight Meadows Art makes some incredible beaded dragons, trees of life, cross-stitch grime guards, and even the Zodiac Ferret SAL. Makes some incredible things, and I highly recommend you go check it out. Now, between January 1st, 2021 and January 8th, 2021, you can use coupon code TheCraftCove, all one word, for 15% off your total purchase, excluding commissions. All the information will be in the description of this podcast, but make sure you go check them out at moonlightmeadowsart.etsy.com. "2021 has some very interesting stitch-alongs coming up, and a couple of the ones that I'm seeing here are... a couple of them are free, couple of them are paid, couple of them are controversial, couple of them are super adorable that I'm planning on buying in on. There's a lot going on here, and I'm going to lay the ones that I know of out on the table. There are more than what I'm laying out on the table. There are so many more than what I'm laying out here on the table. And I'm never going to be able to capture them all. If you know of more than what I'm talking about here, tell me, please. Let me know via email, sleepinglunadesigns@gmail.com. Let me know on social media. You can find me on Instagram at sleepinglunadesigns. You can find me on Twitch 3 to 4 days a week at sleepinglunadesigns. You can find me anywhere, really, at sleepinglunadesigns. You can even find me on TikTok. That's how bad this has gotten. Let's be real. But anyway, if you find a SAL that I have not mentioned and you think that I would like it, or you think that it deserves a little bit more shouting off the rooftops, let me know. I want to help everybody in this crafting community get a little bit more, get a little bit more of a vocal point, because we all know that I have a voice that carries, both literally and I'm hoping figuratively. And let's do what we can to help promote each other. Community over competition. And if we can do anything with this platform, let's make it positive, right? So the first one I want to promote is free. Free is great. Free is wonderful. And this is actually one that I want to do this year. Peppermint Purple did this incredible blackwork SAL in 2020. It's coming out beautiful. And they're doing another one this year. It's a free blackwork SAL in 2021. There's a Facebook group for it. And I'm pretty sure you could just join in and the patterns will be posted there. Not 100% on the details on that. If you know a little bit more about how that one works, do let me know. But I do know that Peppermint Purple is hosting a free blackwork SAL in 2021. Blackwork, if you're not sure of what that is, it's mostly consistent of backstitching. So it's a little bit easier to get through the week by week updates on that. It's kind of a nice change of pace compared to normal cross-stitching SALs. So definitely consider that one. A lot of people do those blackwork SALs in color or with variegated threads to give it a nice spin. So a lot of variation can come from those and a lot of unique twists. Really looking forward to seeing how people accomplish that, or even what designs come from that particular SAL. The next SAL I thought that was really interesting, but a little controversial in my mind, but I'm also kind of really curious as to how it goes. Like, there's so many ways that my brain is going on this one. The Beetlejuice SAL. And I'm going to butcher how this particular designer's name is pronounced. So if you, if the designer of this SAL will contact me and let me know how their name is pronounced, or if somebody who knows them will will help me out here, I will issue a formal apology on socials. I believe it's villainous or villains, VILLINES designs, for the Beetlejuice SAL. Now, this is $15 over on Etsy. The Beetlejuice SAL has some really cool, creepy vibes, definitely reminiscent of the movie, right? The one weird thing I kind of have with it, it takes a little bit too much out of Witchy Stitcher's vibe. Witchy Stitcher kind of established her I have a mansion skeleton and here are the rooms. Witchy kind of really established that pretty early as her niche. And I feel as if I know it's not a universal. I know that concept is not owned by Witchy Stitcher, but at the same point, at very first glance, if you looked at this, you would think, oh, hey, that looks like a Witchy Stitcher SAL. So it's just one of those things where I'm not sure that this was intentionally done to look like Witchy Stitcher's work, but at first glance, it totally does. So it's not her work, but at the same point, I'm really curious to see how this goes because there's a ton of character incorporation. There looks to be some really cool detailing, a lot of cool elements from the movie. Really interested to see how the Beetlejuice SAL goes. I believe that SAL already did start, but it does go into 2021. So that's why I'm including it on this list. Now, this next one is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It's up for pre-order as of recording this stitch along. It starts in January of 2021. It's a 6-month stitch along. It's called the Made to Create stitch along. And this one's a 6-part SAL. And it looks kind of big and it's pretty interesting how Caterpillar Cross Stitch has this one going on. Now, on their website, they have all sorts of bits and options. You can buy just the PDFs and supply all your own supplies. Now you can get the PDFs as a full kit. So you can get the PDF patterns, but then you can get all the supplies shipped to you. Now you can get a bob and needle minder, which the needle minder that Caterpillar Cross Stitch made for this SAL is so beyond adorable. It is a bobbin with a heart cut out at the top and rainbow floss in the middle. And in gold font, it says made to create. Oh my gosh, so cute. I might just order the dang needle minder because that's how cute this is. Or you can get the full kit with the needle minder. Now this ranges from, and this is, oh wait, hold on. If I can convert this into US dollars, that might really help me, huh? This ranges for the PDF pattern only. This starts at $21. Now, if you're going to get the full kit with Ada and the bob and needle minder, this goes all the way up to $58. So it kind of ranges to what you want to do with your price point. But this has a lot of colors to it. It's a 6-month SAL. This looks really cute and adorable. Caterpillar's work is also super adorable. Highly recommend checking this one out. This next one is a free stitch along. It is called the Grim Grinnings SAL. This is based on Facebook. So you'd have to go on a Facebook group to find this one, but it is based on the Haunted Mansion over in Disneyland and in Disney World. Gotta love the Haunted Mansion. Such a fantastic ride. The Grim Grinning SAL, I believe the skeleton is coming out in January. I could be wrong, but I do know the Facebook group has already kind of kicked off and the list of materials has already been published. So this one is a free stitch along. Really curious to see how this one goes because they are using some of the assets from the ride, like the font, the things like that. So Really curious to see how well they incorporate it with some original design. So, really looking forward to seeing how that goes and to see if maybe there's any kind of wiggle room for original design or any kind of changes from the community itself. But hey, free is free, and that could be a really fun time. Now, this next one's from a friend of mine. So, I'm a touch biased on this one. This one has already started as well. And this one is only releasing monthly. So get a little bit more time in between everything. So cool, 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 cool. This one is based off of a wonderful TV show that is a Netflix series. And a friend of ours here on the channel, Something Elf Designs, has done this SAL called The Haunting of a SAL. It is based on The Haunting of Bly Manor over on Netflix. And it is the concept of the dollhouse in the actual show or the actual manor, the Bly Manor house. And so far, two releases have come out. I've been able kind of to get some sneak peeks of how this is stitching up. And oh my goodness, it is coming out so great. I already purchased this, Sal. I bought in already, and it is looking so dang good. I'm not going to be able to start stitching it for a while, but when I get around to it, what I want to do is actually stitch it on the plastic canvas. And I want to turn it into something like the dollhouse that you see in the show. So then that way, maybe you can like kind of open it up or put some figures in there. I think it would be really cool if you could do something like that. So definitely take a look at it. It's from Something Elf Designs over on Etsy. It's called The Haunting of a Sal. I'll leave a link to this and all the other ones that we are talking about in this podcast in the description below. Or I'll probably leave like a link to there's other kind of platforms that you can kind of like leave links to and things like that. So I'll leave something below to indicate that you guys can access everything we talk about. Tiny Modernist is doing a 2021 spring sale. They just put this up for pre order earlier in the week. It is called Spring Blessings. It is $19 and it's a cute little thing. It's adorable. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one goes. It's a 4-part sale. It looks like it starts on January 1st and ends on March 15th. And it uses 12 DMC colors, and they actually have everything already listed on their website and pretty quick and easy. It looks really, really adorable. 19 bucks, like I said. You can get it on their website. And I think Tiny Modernist, I think, might actually have some other resellers that might be selling it as well. Don't quote me on that part, though. And I have to sneak in this absolute other Tiny Modernist Sal. It is the year-long Sal from Tiny Modernist. It is the Zodiac Signs Sal. It is a rather large piece, but oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. The border is already out for free, and you can go and get that. But the Sal overall, it is the highest priced stitch along for the base pattern by itself at $33 US. However, this already looks gorgeous and kind of worthwhile. It's beautiful. I'm looking at it and it's beautiful. One of my viewers on Twitch actually sent this to me live, and immediately after stream I bought it, even though I shouldn't have, but I did. It was one of those impulse purchases because of how stunning this border work really is. Um, Overall, the actual size of this particular pattern on 14 count is going to be 19 inches by 22 inches on 14 count. Looks really, really gorgeous and can't wait to see. It's actually 13 parts, not 12, because in 2022, there's going to be 2 surprise motifs. And based on how the pattern looks, it looks like it's going to be the top and bottom portions of this border. So then that way you can have a little surprise motif at the top and the bottom. Definitely a recommended piece, though, to take a look at. And I'll be doing it with you guys. So if you want to join in and have a little friend to do this SAL with, you can join me in doing this one. A new designer to me, Creepy Domestic, over on Etsy, has a stitch along coming in at $20 US, and that is the Supernatural mystery stitch along. It looks like it's based on the actual TV show. The Supernatural themed mystery SAL is going to be a large sampler style piece in the vein of something by Long Dog Samplers. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to go. It's going to start its release on January 24th, which is Dean Winchester's birthday, which is so iconic. Such an iconic idea. Clouds Factory is also doing a year-long SAL. It is called There Is No Planet B. Now, this, based on the title, this is going to be more earth-friendly, cutesy kind of thing like that. This is a year-long subscription, of course, so it looks like it's going to be something that starts in January, ends in December. It's going to be 200 stitches by 200 stitches with 19 colors needed. The pattern cost by itself is $20 with options for a kit. So you could do something like they have two options, a light supply kit and a full supply kit. If you need either one of those options, they are available to you. Clouds Factory has been traditionally pretty reliable for their SALs and their different kinds of patterns, so definitely something to check out if you like that sort of pattern theme. Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery is doing a 2021 SAL. They're going to offer it as a club purchase. However, I'm reading their newsletter. Thank you to the lovely ladies of Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I reached out to them and they actually sent me the newsletter and gave me a quick update on everything. Sent me the sneak peek image, and oh my gosh, the 2021 club looks so cute from that little sneak peek. Can't wait to see what everything is all about. But the 2021 club looks like it's going to have a little bit of a delay due to the DMC distributor and, delays with COVID and all that jazz. However, they are having the 2021 Stitch Along or their club. So keep an eye on Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So then that way, if you're looking for something super cute, highly recommend. If you've never heard of Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, highly recommend take a look at their Christmas wreath stitch along, which is ongoing as of recording this podcast. Or one of their past ones that I really love is the Chinese Zodiac stitch along. Super love that one. A couple of the creatives on Twitch actually introduced me to Frosted Pumpkin and haven't looked back since. I really can't wait to start stitching some of their stuff. I just haven't had time because I've been overwhelmed with things like Lunar Princess. So definitely keep an eye on that. I have an exclusive piece of news for you, and I am allowed to share this information from the wonderful and lovely Witchy Stitcher. We have an untitled stitch along incoming from the Witchy Stitcher, estimated to be in early to mid 2021, and it is witchy themed. Early to mid 2021, Witchy Stitcher SAL, untitled as of now, and it is witchy themed. Instant purchase on my side. You guys know that I love Witchy Stitcher anything, and I will purchase pretty much anything she puts out. So I love her art style, and I'm already here. So this is exclusive tea. She told me that we are the first to hear of it, so Craft Cove exclusive. I am so excited to hear and to share this with all of you. And that is it for 2020 on the podcast. Holy cannoli. It has been a year. Thank you all so much for coming on this crazy journey with me. Sleeping Luna Designs as a whole has kind of done a lot this year. From Lunar Princess Stitch Along starting at the beginning of the year to Twitch to the launching of the podcast to the website to everything else. My head is a little bit spinning at the moment and trying to think of what's next. But I didn't mention it in the Stitch Along roundup, but we are planning 2 SALs next year. One of them is the Pizza SAL, which is going to be it's called a Pizza Me, I know it's cheesy, but come on. What else do you expect from me? Let's be real. And it's going to be a full pizza. And I'm not sure how we're dividing it out yet. So can't really give you too many details as of yet. But that will be a smaller SAL. And then we will also have a larger SAL coming out as well. Hopefully in 2021, if we can, hashtag make frozen draw. Um, but got to get that one working. And there's just been so many good things this year. And I just want to say thank you to this incredible, loving, beautiful community. None of this would be possible without your incredible support. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continued support. And I hope that I don't let you down in 2021. We have had such a crazy 2020 that I hope in 2021 we can make it beautiful, amazing, and everything that we hope it could be. Have an incredible holiday season. Enjoy your family. Love, hugs, kisses, all that good stuff. And I will see you all very soon.